In the heart of the Enchanted Cheese Kingdom stood the magnificent Castle Fondue, a magical fortress built from golden cheese bricks that glowed under the sunlight. The towers were shaped like swirling soft serve cream, the windows dripped with caramel light reflections, and the floating gardens around the castle bloomed with edible flowers that tasted like honey and vanilla. Inside this delicious and enchanted world lived Princess Cheddarella, a cheerful young princess with a love for baking and a warm smile that brightened every corner of the castle. Her faithful companion was Liri, a tiny kitten with sparkling fur and magical abilities that shimmered like sugar crystals. One morning, Castle Fondue buzzed with excitement. Princess Cheddarella was preparing for a special afternoon visit from her dearest friends. Among them was Melodina, traveling from the distant Whipped Cream Valley. She was set to perform her very first singing presentation at the Children's School of the Kingdom and needed a magical boost of confidence. Princess Cheddarella had promised to bake the legendary Harmonious Cake, a dessert so enchanting that anyone who tasted it would gain a beautifully tuned voice. The aroma of this cake was said to be sweeter than vanilla clouds and its magic stronger than any melody. But the recipe required 3 rare enchanted ingredients: the echo cheeseberry, a small glowing berry shaped like a drop of melted cheese, the moon's lime, a fruit that sparkled like citrus stardust, and the golden puffroot, a floating pastry-like fruit that shimmered with buttery light. Each ingredient grew in a different part of the Cheese Kingdom, hidden behind small magical challenges. Princess Cheddarella studied her recipe scroll and sighed in determination. Liri hopped onto the table, her tail leaving a trail of twinkling crumbs of light. Together, they set out on their quest for the magical ingredients. Their first stop was the Whispering Cheese Orchard, where trees shaped like giant cheese wheels whispered secrets when the wind brushed their rind like bark. The echo cheeseberry grew on only one tree, a tree that revealed itself only to those who spoke sincerely from the heart. Cheddarella placed her hand over her chest and whispered her wish for Melodina's courage and happiness. Instantly, the orchard glowed and a tall, golden cheese tree emerged from the mist with branches full of softly glowing cheeseberries that jingled like tiny bells. However, a playful gust of buttery wind swirled around the branches, pushing the berries higher each time Cheddarella reached for them. Liri sensed the orchard's magic. With a gentle levitation purr, she floated into the air, catching one berry in a sparkling bubble of light. Cheddarella placed the precious ingredients safely into her enchanted recipe pouch. Next, they journeyed into the Gratin Grotto, a cavern system decorated with crusty cheese stalactites and glowing bread crust formations. Deep inside, hidden beneath shimmering layers of baked magic, lay the moon's lime. But the grotto was home to mischievous creatures called crouton sprites, tiny beings with crunchy bodies and glowing butter eyes. They loved giving confusing directions, sending travelers in circles through the bread-scented tunnels. Cheddarella asked them politely for help, but one sprite pointed left, another pointed right, and a third somersaulted into a soup bowl-shaped rock. Princess Cheddarella soon realized that the sprites responded to fun. She began asking silly questions about enchanted grilled cheese or invisible spaghetti. The sprites burst into laughter, scattering buttery sparkles everywhere. Amused by her kindness, they revealed a hidden passage that led to a glowing chamber filled with floating moon's limes. Cheddarella carefully collected one while Liri batted away crumbs of light in curiosity. With 2 ingredients secured, they headed to the sky meadow above the castle known as the Cloudy Puffields. This magical meadow drifted across the sky like a giant pastry cloud, and only creatures with gentle wings could carry visitors there. Luckily, Liri's magical purr attracted the flutterpuffs, adorable golden birds shaped like tiny flying croissants. The birds lowered themselves gracefully and carried the princess and her kitten into the floating meadow. The Puffields were breathtaking. The grass resembled golden strands of pasta, and flowers shaped like miniature tarts chimed softly when touched. In the center of the meadow floated the golden puffroot, glowing warmly like a freshly baked pastry, but it was protected by swirling puffs of enchanted steam that pushed away anyone who approached. Liri stepped forward bravely. Her fur glimmered as she focused her magic. With a harmonious purr, she matched the rhythm of the meadow, calming the swirling steam. Slowly, the protective barrier dissolved, and the golden puffroot drifted gently into Princess Cheddarella's hands. With all 3 magical ingredients collected, they returned to Castle Fondue just as Cheddarella's friends arrived. Melodina looked nervous about her performance, but Cheddarella reassured her. The princess hurried into the royal kitchen, slicing the shimmering ingredients and mixing them with enchanted flour made from powdered sweetbread clouds. She stirred the batter with a crystal spoon carved from sugar glass while Liri sprinkled tiny flakes of edible stardust from her tail. When the cake finished baking, the entire castle smelled like warm cheese pastries and moonlit sweetness. Melodina tasted a slice, and instantly her voice became clear, harmonious, and beautifully tuned. Her eyes sparkled with joy as she hugged Princess Cheddarella. The friends enjoyed their magical tea party, filling Castle Fondue with laughter and sweet aromas. Later that evening, Melodina performed at the children's school. Her voice flowed like warm caramel, soft and enchanting. Princess Cheddarella and Liri watched proudly from the audience. As night fell over the Enchanted Cheese Kingdom, Cheddarella whispered that every magical recipe requires effort, heart, and a sprinkle of joy. Liri purred in agreement, knowing that countless delicious and magical adventures still awaited them in the glowing halls of Castle Fondue.